Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we have a pretty good video for you guys. I think we have 6 first appearances, 5 honorable mentions, so 11 titles on all to go through. Definitely some books in there you guys should pick up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearances of the week, week ending January 6th, 2023. First up from DC Comics, Batman number 131. This features the first appearance of Red Mask. It also features the first appearance of Jewel, an ally of Batman. Now this is the Batman standalone series. This is a title that you do want to collect for if there are first appearances of new characters. Just like Detective Comics, this is one of the tentpole series for DC Comics. Now this does feature the first appearance of 2 new characters. Like we always say with these DC Comics though, it really depends on what DC does with these characters going forward as to how important they're going to be. Now if they introduce these characters into a small screen or big screen project, or take them across other title series, they're going to be much more important. That being said though, like I just mentioned earlier, these characters are being introduced into the Batman standalone series. This is one of the series that you do want to pick up when there's first appearance of new characters, because when they do pull characters for TV shows, feature films, or streaming series, they typically pull from these tentpole series. So in our opinion, this one here is one you should pick up. Go ahead and grab this one. Next up from Marvel Comics, Star Wars The High Republic number 2 second print. This is the second print variant. This features the first cover appearance of the Twinkle Sisters. Now, we typically don't recommend picking up any variant covers just because there's so many variants for every particular issue. It's just tough to keep up. But this one here does feature the first cover appearance of the Twinkle Sisters. Now, this is not the first full appearance, only the first cover appearance. Now, we put this one on the list because this is a Star Wars title. This is the High Republic series. Very popular, very heavily collected. Now, collectors love these Marvel published Star Wars titles. That's why we included it. In our opinion, this is one you should pick up for the cover price if you can. If you can't, though, put it on your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Scarlet Witch number 1. This features the first appearance of Darcy Lewis in the mainstream Marvel Comics universe. She previously appeared in adaptations. Now this one here, if you can pick it up for your cover price, do so. But if you can't, put this one here on your B-list. This is not the first full appearance of Darcy Lewis in comics. This is the first appearance of Darcy Lewis in the mainstream Marvel universe. You know, she did appear in adaptations previous to this particular issue. Now if you do want to pick up the Darcy Lewis comic, you probably want to go back and get the first appearance in comics overall, not just the first appearance in the Marvel Comics universe. That being said though, it really depends on if Marvel changes its character substantially for this particular iteration. If they change her appearance or her abilities in this particular issue, this is one you do want to own. If they don't, if this is just the same character that has appeared in previous adaptations, this is one you probably don't need to worry with. In our opinion, it might be worth specking on. Do a little bit more research on this before you pick it up though. See if they did change the appearance or the abilities of this character. If they did, grab it. If they didn't, put it on your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Captain America Sentinel of Liberty number 8. This features the first appearance of MODOK, MODOK, a mental organism designed only for control. This is also the reintroduction and new roster of the Invaders. You know, the fact that Marvel is reintroducing the Invaders in this issue and giving them a new roster, they may have something planned for this team going forward. You know, you really don't know with Marvel and Disney. They could have something big planned for the Invaders, and if so, you definitely want to get the new roster. So just for a spec bet, this might be worth picking up just for that alone. But this also features the first appearance of MODOK, a mental organism designed only for control. It really depends on what Marvel has planned for this particular entity. You know, like we always say, it's worth picking up any first appearance of new characters in Marvel Comics. They're still churning out a ton of media. You don't know where any of these characters are going to end up on the big screen or small screen. It's definitely going to put a lot of eyes on them. If they do something big with these characters, everybody's going to race back and try to find their first appearance in comics. You want to own that book at the cover price. Go ahead and pick this one here up for a spec bet if you can. If you can't though, put it on your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Spider-Man number 4. This features the first appearance of Spider-Man Peter Palmer, an alternate reality version of Spider-Man based on the editorial naming errors of early Amazing Spider-Man comics. Now this is an interesting take on Spider-Man, this Peter Palmer. It's really just based on the fact that editorials used to get the name wrong when they printed these comics. So this one here is an alternate universe Spider-Man, but still in the Spider-Man universe, and like we always say, Spider-Man, probably one of the most popular, most heavily collected franchises in Marvel history. So in our opinion, this one here is probably worth owning. They're probably not going to do anything big with this Peter Palmer version of Spider-Man in the future, but like I just said, it is the first appearance of this new Spider-Man character. So this is one we think you should pick up. Go ahead and grab this one. And finally from Marvel Comics, Star Wars number 30. This features the first appearance of Nihil droids. It also features the first appearance of unnamed characters. Now, we always recommend picking up these Marvel published Star Wars titles when they feature the first appearance of new characters, and this particular issue seems like it has quite a few. You know, Marvel Disney is still churning out a ton of media for the Star Wars franchise, and we see this going well into the future. So in our opinion, this is one you want to own. Go ahead and grab this one. And now for the honorable mentions. From AWA Comics, Children of the Black Sun #1. Unspeakable horrors occurred both times that the Black Sun had risen, and while it was in the sky, women who were pregnant gave birth to peculiar babies, who years later unite to embark on a hallucinatory journey to discover their true identity. Now, like we always say with these small press and indie publishers, if these particular stories, these issues get picked up an option for a small screen, big screen project, that's a huge price driver for these books. And this one here sounds like it can lend itself very well to a streaming series, TV show, or feature film, and AWA Comics has had a lot of their titles optioned in the past. So in our opinion, this one here is going to be a great spec bet. So pick it up if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. Next up from Black Mask, Gangster-Ass Barista #1. A woman tries to leave behind her criminal past, but her violent tendencies threaten to emerge while dealing with annoying customers and previous associates. Now this one here is probably a B-list item. If you do choose to pick it up, it's going to be super speculative. It was just an interesting title, interesting story. You know, it can lend itself very well to a streaming series, TV show, or feature film, but you know, Black Mask has not had a lot of their titles picked up in option in the past, and we really don't know if this one here is going to be the first one to be picked up. So like I said, this is definitely going to be speculative. If you choose to pick it up, you can probably put it on your B-list for now. Keep an eye on it. Next up from Boom Comics, Mosley #1. In the hyper-technological world of the later 21st century, Mosley is a bitter old janitor on a mission from a higher power to unleash holy hell upon the tech gods. Now, Boom Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up in option in the past for small screen, big screen projects, and this one here sounds like it lends itself very well to one of these projects. You know, these type of stories often get the attention of studios, so this one here, in our opinion, has high probability of being optioned. You know, whether it goes anywhere or not, that's a different story. But if it's optioned alone, that will get a lot more eyes on this book. So this is definitely going to be speculative if you choose to pick it up. But like I said, Boom Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up in option in the past. So in our opinion, this is a good spec bet. Go ahead and grab it if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list and keep an eye on it. Next up from Dark Horse Comics, Spy Superb #1. Jay is the perfect spy, a useful idiot who doesn't even know that he is working for a secret organization. But when he picks up the wrong phone, he lands on the radar of an elite assassin, and his only hope for survival is a total lack of survival skills. Now this is one we did highlight in the past, but for whatever reason it didn't come out that day. It's coming out today instead. This one here sounds like it lends itself very well to a streaming series or TV show, and Dark Horse has had a lot of their titles picked up in option in the past. You know, so this one here, in our opinion, is a great spec bet to pick up. Grab this one here if you can. If you can't, then put it in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. And finally from AWA Upshot, Trojan #1. This is a horror series about the dark web industry of snuff films, where the creatures once thought to exist only in folklore stories are real and are the victims that are slaughtered on film. Now this one here sounds like it lends itself very well to a small screen, big screen project, and AWA Upshot has been getting a lot more attention on their titles recently. Now if this does get an option to make it to the big screen or small screen, you know, it gets a lot more eyes on this book and people are going to race back to try to pick up the comic. So you definitely want to own this at the cover price. You don't want to go chase it later at a higher price. Go ahead and grab this one here if you can to spec on. If you can't though, put it on your B-list and keep an eye on it. So there you have the 11 titles that we have for you guys this week. Definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. Please feel free to give some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.